Salve, and welcome to Parsing John. Today we're going to take a look at chapter 1, verse 26 and 27 in the Vulgate. Here's the rubric of everything that we're looking for as we go through this. I want to keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and get started. Respondit eis Ioannes dicens ego baptizo in aqua medias autem vestram stetit, quem vos nescitis, ipse est qui post me venturus est, qui ante me factus est, cuius ego non sum dignus ut solvam eius corrigiam calcaementi. It's a fun word to say there. Okay, we take a look at our very first word, and it's exactly what we're looking for. This is the verb, the main verb of our first clause. It's got it there, so we know that is a third person, and it is singular in form. And then the stem here is something a little bit more troubling for us. It could either be the present tense or the perfect tense, because this is respondo, respondere, respondi, responsum, so the present and perfect stems are identical. So it could be either perfect or present, and it is active and indicative. So it could be he responds or he does respond. In order to figure that out, we need to take a look at the Greek I happen to have over here. All right, and looking at our Greek, the equivalent word to respondent is apekrithe, and it's aorist tense here. So that tells us that the appropriate tense for this one is actually going to be perfect. He responded. He responded with what? To whom? Well, as we take a look at it, and we should also ask who responded. Eis is from is, ea, id, and this is dative or ablative plural, and it could be any of the genders. It's most likely going to be dative. We don't have a preposition. We don't need an ablative in here as far as we're aware, and it makes most sense for it to be an indirect object. He responded to them. Ioannes, we've got epsilon sigma there, which normally looks like a nominative or accusative plural ending. But since this is not a native Latin or let alone a native Greek word, we know that this, from seeing it before, is actually nominative singular masculine. All right, so John is the one doing the responding. Dicens from dico dicere. ENS tells us that this is a participle. Nominative singular masculine or feminine, present, active, participle, and it's going to be masculine because John is masculine. They go together. Saying, ego. Ego introduces a quote, so we want to put quote marks there. Ego is nominative and it is singular, so it is our subject, John here, I. Baptizo, got our O ending there, and it's going to be long, so that tells us it's first person singular. And baptiz is our present stem, and naturally active and indicative. Baptize. In aqua medias. In is a preposition. It takes either the ablative or the accusative. When we take a look at aqua, aqua is a feminine noun, so we know that this should be long A, and therefore in is taking the ablative this time, and singular feminine is first declension. Sorry, mismatching brackets, computer program crash, no! In water. Medius autem vestram stetit. Here we get our next verb. It is our ending. It is third person singular, and stet from sto stare steti is perfect tense. Active and indicative. Stood or has stood. Looking for a subject here before we get to our relative clause with quem. We don't see one. Medius here just means middle. Autem means however. Vestram is from vos, vestri, vobis, vos, vobis. So this one is a partitive genitive for that personal pronoun in the plural. we have two options, westry or westrum. If we have westry, then it's showing possession. If we have the form westrum, then it is showing us partitive idea, so of this group, so genitive, plural, and it's masculine partitive of you all. So this is going to be part of that. Westrum can't own a verb, but also can't own however, so middle is the only thing that can go with it. So, I baptize in water, however, midst of you stood. Stood who? Well, we're not told exactly just yet. Quem is going to be in reference to this, since it's singular, and it would have to be plural to refer to them, so accusative, singular, and masculine. Whom vos nescitis. Vos is from the same pronoun there. It could either be nominative or accusative, but we already have an accusative here, so nominative makes more sense. But to check that, we would want to go to our verb. And nescitis, you get the tis ending right there, which is second person singular. Nescio, nescires, nescivi, or nescii. So this is present. And it is active and indicative. So this is going to match that because singular, plural. What's wrong with me? This is plural and that is plural, so they go together. Nominative and plural. Whom you all. Not is not spelled with a D. No. Period. Whom you all do not know. All right. Verse 27. Ipse is from se, ipsa, ipsum, meaning self. So this is naturally nominative, singular, masculine. Self, we would say himself. Est, from sum esse fui futurus. Third person, singular, present, active, and indicative. Himself is qui quae quod. So this is not, correction, this is, for a moment there I said this is a interrogative, but it's not. This one is neither. Brain failure, sorry. This is nominative, singular, masculine. It could be plural, but since this is singular and this is singular, singular makes most sense here. Himself is who, post me, get a preposition there. When turus est, here's our verb with us. This is something that we've seen the Latin do before. We've got a future participle with the form of est. I believe it's been a while since we looked at that, so I can't quite remember what this thing is called, but I want to say it is the first periphrastic conjugation. It's a pretty weird thing, honestly. Us tells us it's nominative, singular, masculine. When tur, with a long U there, off of the fourth principal part of venio, is a future active participle paired with another form of est, so we can just bring this over here. Who is about to come. Now technically this can also function as the future active participle without esse. Normally, well, we want, as poor English readers, we want esse to appear in there so it's easier for us to figure it out, but these things don't always have to have esse in order to be infinitive. Which one it is, it's beyond my knowledge, but this works. Who is about to come, post me. Post takes the accusative case, which means me is accusative and singular. After me. All right, there we go. Qui is going to be the same thing as here, but in order to confirm that it is actually singular, not referring to someone else, it wouldn't make much sense for it to refer to someone else since there's only two singulars in here, me and qui, who is ipse. Take a look ahead. Factus est. Est is singular, so yes, this is a repetition of this one right here. Following the lines is going to be very hard. Ouch. Who. Factus est. Here we have a perfect passive form. Us tells us masculine, nominative. Sorry, swap those. Masculine, nominative, singular, perfect, passive, participle. No, participle. Perfect, passive, indicative. Yeah, there we go. Has become, been made. I believe we've been going with become primarily. And then we come back to ante me, which is a prepositional phrase. Ante takes the accusative, I think. It's hard to tell, though, with me, because me is either accusative or ablative. Before me. And that finishes this clause off. Who has become before me? Quis ego non sum. So we've got another relative clause in here. Quis is also from qui quae quod. And it is the genitive singular form. Ego we've seen before, nominative singular, so I'm not going to do that one again. It's just I. This is whose. Sum, from sum esse fui, so first person, singular, present, active, and indicative. Am, not negates that. Dignus, us there tells us that it is probably a nominative singular masculine, which would make sense since we've got nominative singular desired by these two. And me is masculine because it's John. So nominative singular masculine worthy. Ut introduces a new clause. Let's finish this one first. Oh, whose, or this is going to sound better in English, of whom, with dignus, of whom I am not worthy. Ut solum eas corrigiam calceamenti. Solum almost has to be our verb here because, well, this one technically could be too, but corrigi is not a verb stem. Solvo is a verb there, so am here tells us that this is a subjunctive verb. First person, or technically, I suppose, it could be future. That's vexing. Because solvo, solvere, solvui, sorry. And I don't remember if it has a fourth principal part, so this would make it a third conjugation. And the future of third conjugation is am, es, et, emus, etus, ent. And the subjunctive of third conjugations, from we beat a giant, a, there is the vowel for that third conjugation, so it'd be as, at, amus, atus, ant. So we have the exact same problem here in Latin as we do in Greek. So first person singular, I'm going to do active first. Active and either future indicative or present subjunctive. Now, pulling upon our Greek page again. No, that's not it. What did I do with it? There it is. Okay, right underneath it. Let's find that verb. Luso here is the Greek word equivalent of solum. We had the options of either future active indicative or aorist active subjunctive. And in Latin, we've got the corresponding future indicative and present subjunctive. Present and aorist are not equivalent tenses, but future definitely are. So I'm going to side with future here. Could still be wrong, though. All right. So, ut with indicative, as I'm not worthy, as I shall, not will, what's wrong with me? Release, or loose. Okay, I'm going to also write the subjunctive form down here, just because. That I may, that one or that one. Most likely these, based on our comparison to the Greek, real quick. Eius is from is, ea, id, and it is genitive singular. His. Corrigiam with am there is a accusative singular and feminine. And this thing means shoestring? And then our last word, direct object. Calcaamenti. Calcaamenti, this I here could be dative of the third declension, or it could be nominative plural or genitive singular of the second declension. Doesn't make sense for us to have a dative, so genitive makes the most sense there. Genitive, singular, and what gender is this thing? Well, it's either masculine or neuter, and my brain is telling me neuter, so that's what I'm going to go with. And this is just like sandal or shoe. Let's go with shoe. I do have notes on this, just not paying very close attention to them, obviously. Okay, of shoe. So then we've got, of whom I am not worthy, as I shall release his shoestring of shoe. Sounds kind of funny. Honestly, the subjunctive looks a lot better in this case. Of whom I am not worthy, that I may loose his shoestring of shoe. Probably put his in there again, or just move the his over there. But future is what matches with the Greek better than the subjunctive does. So this is the one that we should side with for now. Let's go ahead and take a look at this whole thing in context with everything else we've done so far. And this is witness of John. When Jews sent from Jerusalem priests and Levites to him, in order that they might ask him, "Who are you?" And he confessed, and did not deny. And because he confessed, "I am not Christ." And they asked him, "What therefore? Are you Elijah?" And he says, "I am not." "Are you prophet?" And he responded, "Not." They said therefore to him, "Who are you?" In order that we may give response to those who sent us. "What do you say about yourself?" He says, or he said, "I am the voice of crying in desert. Make straight," or direct the way of Lord, just as, probably quote there, I don't know, just as Isaiah said, the prophet, and who had, and missing a whole lot of quotes in here, and they were who had been sent from Pharisees, and they asked him, and they said to him, "What therefore do you baptize, if you are not Christ, and not Elijah, and not prophet?" He responded to them, John, saying, "I baptize in water. However, in the middle of you stood whom you all do not know. Himself is who is about to come after me, who has become before me, of whom I am not worthy, that I shall, or as I shall release shoestring of his shoe." There we go. Well, I hope taking a look at the text here has been helpful for you and that you have enjoyed watching, and thank you very much for watching. I hope that you stick with it. Have a good day.